Hey everyone, welcome to Dojo Talks. We have a very exciting show today. We are going to be drafting the best juniors in the world. I'm going to explain the rules real quick. We're each going to draft 5 players off of the current under 21 junior list. We're using 2700chess.com as our main resource. They have a nice list of the top juniors and their live ratings. And in 1 year, we're going to go and check to see their highest average FIDE rating for the whole team. So whoever has the highest 5 rated players, taking just the entire average, wins for the first year. But we're thinking we're also just going to keep it going. So at the end of 1 year, we're not sure exactly. Maybe we'll draft like 5 more players. Maybe we'll just draft a couple more. Maybe we can replace some players. But after 1 year, we'll check in. We'll do a new draft. And we'll keep our teams moving forward. And we're going to see who has the best insight, who can make the best picks from today, October 30th, 2023, and can sense which of these juniors is going to be the highest rated in the future. Now, going into this, we were just talking before the show. It's kind of interesting how we have so many strong juniors right now. So I wanted to ask you guys, is this something special about this generation? And is this kind of the strongest generation we've had in a while?
Well, okay, I guess I would say that what's interesting is you look at the 2,700 list, and there are surprisingly few players between the ages of 21 and 30. So you have players a generation above 30, and we're talking about Magnus, Bobby, Hikaru, Wesley, Nepo, all these people, right? And then there's a really big gap in years. So it's very surprising. So, like, we could ask ourselves, why did it happen? A large part of it is the rise of India, but also it's just surprising. Well, what happened? Was that a lost generation or something? And the question then is like how strong they are. I feel personally that we don't have a Magnus of this generation. I don't yet see a Magnus, but that's something that, we'll be debating. And also, at some point, I want to do a whole dojo talks on the rise of Indian chess, because it's a fascinating thing, and we'll probably be touching on it in this show because so many of the top juniors are Indians. I'll hand it to you, Dave.
I think that this generation is stronger. It is weird. I hadn't thought about what you said about the missing generation in between 21 to 30. Um, is the world champion in that generation? Or is he also over 30? Dingley Ren is over 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing because I sort of think things tend to get stronger over time, but there was a crazy 1 or 2 years where Magnus and MVL and everybody were born. Um, I think this generation is super strong. There was a week I remember where suddenly 5 juniors made 2,700 the same week. It was just like, whoa, they're all here suddenly. I think they're really, really strong. I think it's a reflection of there being more people playing chess in total. Um, and so just, from having more people, you've got more people with crazy talent. And then at the same time, you've got great training resources available. So I do think it is a super strong generation outpacing others. And I mean, I think that the level of the players who are now 16 to 20 years old, if you fast forward 10 years from now, I think it'll be stronger than it was, say, when Kasparov was playing against Anand, Kramnik, Topalov, and that crew coming up. So I think it's going to be, I guess you could say, the strongest generation ever, would be my guess. Not by like a ton, but by a little bit.
Yeah. No, it's quite amazing. Like, I mean, just looking at this list. Um, and yeah, I mean, last time I felt like there was some good. I guess Carlsen's year is considered very, very strong. Like, I remember he and Karyakin and Rajabov were always kind of very highly regarded as like the next generation. Um, but yeah, it was just like a small handful of players where we have like, I don't know, 10 players on this list that could be like the next like 2,800. You know, it's very interesting to see how many of them are gonna break through the top, and then they're all these other guys like So, Geary, Ding, Duda, Rapport, Nepo. I mean, I feel like they're still gonna be around. So I don't know. It's like it feels like it's gonna get very, very competitive.
Yeah, and I want to add, I think that Carlsen had it easy. We got to actually talk about Carlsen for a second. Obviously, he's been champion forever. The guy's been getting complacent because that generation immediately below him wasn't there. It wasn't there to challenge him. It was only the people around him in age. And now these Indians are coming up, and I'm hoping he's going to start feeling regret from having walked away from the title, because they're going to start giving him a bloody nose, as they have done since the last time I gave this Magnus rant. Right? He's finally losing some games to these Indian people. Indians you haven't even heard of before. Yeah.
Magnus would lose very, very rarely. Magnus losing a single game is a big, big deal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But these open tournaments are wild. I mean, I've been trying to tell you guys, you know, finally you see it on the world stage. The open tournament is just brutal. We all have to deal with the juniors, unfortunately.
I mean, I don't think Jesse and I have been denying it when you told us that. We haven't been like, no, Kostya, those opens are soft, you know. Don't worry. Don't worry about those teenage 2600s.
Yeah. All right, let's start.
Okay, so we got the order from DM Hokie. Looks like he randomized it, so it'll be Jesse first, then me, then David. So we'll be doing the snake draft. So that means David will get the 3rd pick, then David gets the 4th pick. I'll get 5, Jesse gets 6, and then so on. Then we repeat the order. I had the list of the juniors up. Let me close that. And Jesse, you have the 1st pick. So I don't know how many drafts you've watched, but you got to announce it. You got to be like, with the 1st overall pick, I select, and then name your player.
With the 1st overall pick in the 2023 draft, Jesse Kraai selects Alireza Firouzja.
All right, he knows how to do it, Kostya.
So, I'll say about this that if this would be a slam dunk for me if it was a year ago, but now there's definitely doubts, because a couple things have happened. Dude has stopped playing as actively as he has. There was a time a year plus ago that he seemed heir apparent to the throne. And now, like, losing points, but also being so, like, if you look just recently, dude has played a couple games, but then before that it was July. And especially for a kid to go from not playing a tournament in July and then waiting till October, something's going on. I don't know what it is, but so it's a good solid pick. But again, I could be wrong on this. Like, dude could stop playing like Ding. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with Ding, by the way. That's a whole other thing. But, like, stopping to play is a bad sign for somebody trying to make a draft.
Yeah. But that said, Jesse, if you had picked him a year ago, you would have been up at least 44 points on whoever Kostya or I picked after you. So it would have worked out well for you, even if you picked him a year, right?
Fair. Even though he lost points in those years.
It would have been a slam dunk anyway.
Yeah, these ratings, they can just keep their rating, you know? These elites.
He's lost 30 points, but he's still way on top.
Yeah, no, good pick. I would have taken him as well. Okay, on to me.
Yep.
All right. With the 2nd overall pick in the Dojo Junior Draft 2023, I'm going to select Noderbek Abdusatorov.
Okay. I like that pick.
Uzbekistan. Currently number 6 in the junior rankings at 27-22.
Yeah. A slightly bold pick, Kostya. You seem to think about that one for a moment.
Slightly old, yeah.
I kind of thought that I was going to get him when I got put in the 3rd, 4th slot.
It's a bummer, man.
I think
it's all right though.
Yeah, he's gonna lead this team.
There's no picks in the first like 6 to 10 picks that anyone's going to feel very bad about getting. I'm going to take Indians. I'll see if I can keep you guys from getting any Indians. That would be a winning strategy if somehow none of you got any Indians.
Uh-huh.
I will pick Gukesh with the third pick.
Uh-huh.
Uh, a super favorite of mine. And then I've got more favorites. Then I'll take Pragnananda with the fourth pick.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
He's impressed me even more this year than
I'm
he
just
had
saying that was
impressed me.
as unoriginal as my pick. David picking 2 and 3, and I picked 1. You know,
I'm sorry.
come on.
I'm sorry.
All right, Mr. Kostya. He's going with the Indians. He got the good Indians. We got nothing left. Who do you want, buddy?
Oh man, this is tough. Okay, let me think about this.
After Kostya, while he's thinking, Jesse, I'll just check in with you. After Kostya makes this pick,
Yeah.
you're going to get 2 picks as well. Even though you went first, you're now in the snaking part
Got
as
it.
well.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's going to be nothing left.
All right, I got my pick.
Slaney left.
I'm gonna take this number 5 pick. I'm taking Arjun Erigaisi.
Mm-hmm.
David's right. You got to get at least one Indian on your team. They're all gonna be up there.
Uh-huh.
This could be the last chance.
Okay. So, this is a hard one for me. Now, one of the things that's a little bit confusing about the draft is like there's going to be a winner among us next year, but there's also like the idea is if we keep doing it, we'll be able to like long-term follow these people, and that's going to explain my picks here. So, first off, I'm going to pick Keimer aus Deutschland. And Keimer, it's funny, I was on a German podcast a couple of years ago, and they're pumped on him, of course. And they were like, "Do you think he's gonna make it?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "No, I don't think so." And they were really upset, Should have just said yes. But I don't know, and I don't. When I say, I still don't think I can't. It's hard for me to imagine the kid making it to the very top, but he's got a lot going for me. Definitely seems like a hard worker. Definitely seems like he loves the game. He's got an amazing support system in Germany of people who really want to support the kid and create some German champion. And I definitely think that's important. And on the question of support system, this can be my next pick, which is more this is my long range pick that I'm going to steal from you guys before you take him. And I'm going to pick Mishra next. And so Mishra's 14, and it's kind of interesting to think about support systems where Mishra's dad has really been doing a lot of work, and I think Mishra's definitely going to get more and more help, but it costs money for trainers and going around the world, and some of these juniors have it, some don't. It was definitely critical for, say, Fabi's success that his dad, shelled out for trainers and that kind of thing. And anyways, I'm very impressed with Mishra. And I think for next year, it's probably a mistake because if the kid gains 100 points, he'll still, not be at the very top. And 100 points would, of course, be amazing over the course of a year. But I think long term, he's the best bet for the next coming after Firouzja.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's a good pick, Jesse.
Okay.
I mean, there's not that many people who are so much ahead of him. Like, if you say he gains 100 points, that would put him above anyone else you had available to pick.
Okay, yeah. But I mean, again, though, 100 points in a year would just be stunning,
Would be stunning, yeah. But let's say 70 to 80 would be great and would be possible for him.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah. Yeah. Jesse just cleaned up there. He got first pick and then he got this? What?
And he gets Mishra. Wow. Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, it's fine.
You guys get to know way on me, though.
Okay. This is a tough one. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Hans Niemann.
Okay.
Also, kind of a long-term pick for me.
Okay.
Maybe not next year, but eventually, I think he's getting there.
Yeah. He's good, but I think that's a slightly riskier pick.
Oh, very risky.
Two of the pick than at least one of the picks that was available
Well,
to
I'm
you.
hoping we have a mechanism for like trading out players. So, like if something happens, you can
Something
always
that's
draft.
Oh, actually, that's the other thing we can do, of course. We can trade players. Actually, maybe at the end of this, we can ask if somebody wants to trade, then
Interesting.
we'll see if somebody wants to trade.
Yeah.
I'm not optimistic on Neiman. One thing I was thinking, David, so just to back up, put this in perspective, me and David were in the Bay Area doing the GM house. And in that time, it's three juniors who are, out there. And that was Shanklin, who's not really a junior anymore, but then he was. We had Christopher Yu, who's on this junior list. And then we had Neiman the Demon, as he was known at the time. So a really interesting time, not just of world generation, but that Bay Area, definitely the strongest Bay Area generation that ever happened.
We had Ganya too. He played board 4.
Ganya too, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Bunch of good players. I think there's definitely strong potential in the Neiman pick, but I think it's a little bit risky too.
Yeah, no, that was a fail. That was a clear fail. That's okay,
Hey,
bud.
no risk, no reward.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to take 2 picks, which could be insulted for not being very risky. But to me, they're just so obvious now. If Kostya had taken one of these 2, I would have really had to think really hard if I wanted to take Neiman with one of my 2 picks.
That's true. I should have.
But I have 2 easier picks now, which are Javokir Sindarov from Uzbekistan.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really good pick at this point. Very safe, and I'll follow it up with Nihal Sarin, an Indian. And I'll say right here, I don't think he's going to be world champion.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch.
But I think the odds that he has a higher rating in 1 or 2 years than me taking a 2,600 rated wild card and hoping that they gain 70 or 80 points, I think the odds are lower for any gambling pick I tried to take. So I think
I
I'll
think
add to the Indian contingent.
I think Sindarov is a great pick, dude. Yeah, for sure.
All right, recouped some of my losses there, but still like what Jesse has right now.
Yeah. There's a lot of good players on. I mean, that's why we're doing this draft. There's a lot of good players. This next one, I guess. Yeah, I don't feel any super special way about a lot of these players, but they're all like very, very talented, and I could see any one of them kind of breaking through. I'm gonna go with Christopher Yu. Feel like he's close enough, and I definitely think he has the talent to gain a ton of points.
Yeah. Christopher Yu is a real interesting pick because something's wrong with the kid at the moment. He hasn't played since May, and I've heard various stories about health stuff, and I don't know, but it's definitely a bad sign that he hasn't played since May.
I'm sure he'll be back.
Actually, I'll tell a quick story. I feel like Christopher Yu was my first taste as a trainer of like meeting a talent where I'm like, whoa, this is another level, and it was expressed very clearly in that we were doing a camp. The kid was 5, the kid was 5, definitely the youngest kid in the room, all kinds of older kids in there, many kids who had played a lot of tournament chess already, with much higher ratings. And we were doing some, like, I would put up some mate and twos up on the board there, and he would slay. he would slay those. It was a game I love to play. I still love the game as a camp. You have to raise your hand, and if you get it wrong, you lose points. So it's a very thing you got to be accurate about it. And he slayed those ones, and it was like as a 5-year-old, and I was like, okay, I now understand. I can now understand what chess talent means. And that I was able to do. We did some work together there when he was a kid in the subsequent years, and always really impressed me. His father has also basically stopped working to promote Christopher, so he also has a support structure. I don't know what's going on now, though, but I still would have picked him if I could have.
Yeah. Well, now it's your turn to pick someone else. I also think Chris is a great pick. He was very high on my remaining card of people to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I get to go twice. Ha ha ha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. The next two players I don't know too well. Actually, it's a hard one to pick. It's a hard one. I'm gonna go for youth. I believe in youth, and I'm gonna pick this kid Sadwani. Right, Sadwani, and then also this Russian kid. It's hard to know what's going on with the Russian kids at the moment because, they're behind a wall. Merz.
Merzen, yeah. Yeah. Those are good picks. Those are youth and also some of the highest ratings left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man.
I'm done. There it is.
Jesse cleaned up, Kostya.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I like your list a lot, David. I think Kostya just clearly blew it. He's just throwing the game, but me and you got pretty good lists, but
All right, we'll see.
Kostya's got the riskiest list so far and the lowest rated.
My guys are going to be on top. Okay. Yeah, I don't have a super clear choice for this one.
I've got another 5 or 6 picks prepped.
one thing actually, what Kostya is thinking about, I think is really interesting, is I have a feeling no one's going to pick a Wonder Liang, and it's the kid is at 2640 at age 20, and he's just a monster talent. Never really took chess seriously. Has been doing school this whole time. What a chump! What a chump! What are you doing, a Wonder? What are you doing, buddy? You had a shot at the title. Anyways, if that kid had been properly studying, he would be on our list. Anyways, maybe Kostya will pick him. He's into the wild.
He might be.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I still think he has a lot of potential, but yeah, it's not clear. Whenever I see him play, he does really well, but yeah, I'm not exactly sure what his goals are. He might not be interested in raising his FIDE rating, for the purposes of our draft. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what his priorities are.
Right. But if you take somebody else, you're going to have to go down 30, 40, 50 points.
No, I'm going to go with Jonas Bolbier.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know a lot about him, but I know he's young, and I know he's 2600, and I've seen him play some speed chess, so I know he's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. He's quite good.
And yeah, you never know. This is more of a you never know kind of pick. It seems like, yeah.
Okay. I have a tough pick. Give me a second here.
I'm just gonna admit, when Kostya proposed this, I thought it was kind of dumb, and now I'm like, you know what? I'm into it. I'm it's growing on me. It's growing on me.
Yeah.
Forced to think about
Perugia Mishra. Be fun to track.
You guys
these
know
lists.
when a Wonder graduates? Does he have 2 more years or 1?
Dude, he's probably already got his PhD at this point, boss. Come on.
No, he's an undergrad.
Yeah, but these kids now, man, I'm sure he's crushing school like nobody's business. He's not playing much, dude.
I know, a year and a half's a long time. I think he's still got a year and a half. That's the problem. If he had half a year, I would pick him. I think he's gonna do like what Shanklin did, which is after he graduates, he's gonna get better at chess.
No, I totally disagree. Totally
I don't
disagree.
think there's any chance.
No, he's gonna do some. He's gonna leave us.
He's just trying to talk you out of it, David. He's afraid of a wonder.
No, I think it'd be a huge blunder to pick a wonder at this point.
Well, I mean, my alternate pick is like 60 points lower.
You could
Really?
pick that kid Svana. You could kick the
Really?
other German kid,
I could pick who?
Frederick Svana.
Nope, never.
What do you have against Frederick Svane?
Yeah, what's going on?
Not
What's wrong
happening.
with Svana?
Not happening.
You could pick Suleimanli.
Yeah.
Very curious why David refuses to take a Svane.
And this kid Mendonca. Yeah.
I think the Spanes play kind of a little bit boringly, don't they?
They're technical players.
Yeah. I mean, when was a technical player ever that good?
True. Well, Keimer's pretty technical.
Yeah. I know. That's why it's surprising that he's good. I'm very surprised. Like the thing about Keimer is like I always thought like, oh yeah, great training, great attitude, but no talent, just not that world-class talent. And then it's like his rating's 27, whatever, 25 or 30.
No talent. No,
Unbelievable.
Keimer's very. I remember
Yeah.
reading some articles. He's like solving studies when he's like 7 years old. He's
He could
He's got the talent.
he had Carlson, dude. He could have taken out Carlson.
He's obviously good. I'm letting you in on my broken mental process and why it doesn't come up with the right answers, Like, anyway, it's the same thing with those other German kids. Um, okay, I'll tell you who I'm thinking between since you guys don't have any more picks. I've got three choices for me. A Wonder, Daneshvar, or Lazovic. Those are who I'm hesitating between. So a Wonder has 60 points on Bardia and 80 points on Denis Lazovic. But I think that both of those players are going to become very good within a couple of years.
Oh, Lazovic 16.
Yeah. Daneshvar and Lazovic are both like turned 17 in 2023. They're about the same age, about the same talent. They're very good. But whichever one I pick is going to drop 1,000,000 rating points off my team average.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of pressure on the player.
Well, they're not going to know about it.
Right.
For them, it would just give them a boost of confidence if they knew that somebody had picked them.
Sure.
All right, boss. Commit. We're just gonna give you a 0.
You can't give me a 0. That's harsh.
That'd be good for his average rating.
All right, I'll take Daneshvar Bardia. Bardia Daneshvar
Oh,
with the last pick.
okay.
That was a tough one.
Let's see what is. I gotta look up his FIDE now.
It's 2580.
2581,
Sure.
or maybe his live rating's different. No.
I don't think he's high enough to be on any live lists where you could look him up.
Dang. He's high enough. They should all have him. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a battle between me and David next year,
Okay.
and it'll be a pretty good show. Pretty good show.
I think my guys are gonna rock it. We'll see. Um, and yeah. Anyway, next year we'll keep it going with another round. So it might not be our year this year, but I believe in our guys.
Wow. My average rating is really high, even after taking Dineshvar.
Well, yeah, boss, you could pick the Indian kids at the top. You that was like,
Yeah.
Kostya blew it, and you
Yeah.
just scooped it all up, dude.
Yeah. Maybe I should have taken Mendonca, as somebody in chat said, and just been all
I
India.
told you to take Mendonca, Baus.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been a bad pick, but I needed a little pinch of spice.
We'll see. All right, so let's recap for the listeners. So Jesse has Faruja, Keimer, Mishra, Sadwani, and Murzin. I've got Abdusatorov, Erigaisi, Neiman, Yu, and Bier. David has Gukesh, Pragnananda, Sundarov, Sarin, and Daneshvar.
Mhm.
Actually, David, people probably don't know much about Daneshvar. Why don't maybe you could say a few words about why you picked him?
Okay, so it was a tough pick between him and Lazovic for me. Lazovic I've seen play a lot more online, and I more and more believe in these online blitzers actually becoming really good. There's certain people they're just consuming it, and you're like, oh yeah, playing 5,000 blitz games against Faruja and Magnus and Naka, and then somehow you just come out and you just are really good at chess. So I now believe in that as a way for certain special people to get really really good. And I think he's kind of in there because he's playing a lot of 15-minute games online with those guys, right? And he's if you look at his chess.com rapid rating, right, he's just a super GM. Um, just comparable with all these great players. So that was a really strong pick, but eventually I picked Dineshvar over him because Dineshvar is playing more classical games total right now. He's playing very, very frequently. He does a bit less, blitzing and all that, more classical. And I think that Iran is successfully investing in their players. They had this really exciting crop of players 10 years ago. Um, and the dream was, that all these teenagers would all make 2,700, but it seemed unlikely that they all would. And it was like, well, Reza will make 2,700, but will the others? Right. And then Max Sudlu made 27, and he's doing really, really good. And also for a moment, I think um, the third one made it. Let me just try and remember. They have a third player
Badabaye.
who made 700, right? Tabatabaye, right? Yeah,
Or
and I
no, but he
thought
was close at
a
least.
long
Yeah.
time. What's that?
I think he was at least close. I'm sure he might have
Yeah,
made
I
it.
think he hit it for like a day or two, and I remember thinking that that he would maybe never make 2,700, but be, a good 2,600 on board three for them in Olympiads. And then he made 2,700 too. They're really, I think they're really getting a lot of good support there somehow, um, in Iran. And so that's like an extra factor that I'm believing in that Dineshvar will have all the resources that he needs, that he'll be part of a strong team. We once got to do an interview after like a chess.com speed chess championship match or something like that. And at the time, Perugia said, "Oh yeah, we all work together. Like there is collaboration, teamwork, sparring, opening work, whatever, right, going on." And I was like, okay. So it's like even less of an accident or a surprise, right? That there's so many good players in the same place. So if I think that Dineshvar is going to be able to work like openly and sharingly with other top Iranian players, I think that's going to be a big asset for him. I saw him play earlier this year when his rating was only 25, 10, 20 at the beginning of 2023. And I just thought he looked way too talented for his rating. Tactically sharp, imaginative, creative, resilient. I don't know, stuff that makes me feel talent the way apparently, no technical player can. So, although he also plays technically at times. So anyway,
Nice.
that's a little intro to him. I think he's going to be very good.
Cool. I beat
2,700.
Danishvar in Blitz. I beat him in Blitz one time.
Well, if I'd known that, I never would have picked him.
In
No,
the
I think
Pro
he'll be
Chess.
2,700. I really do think he'll be 2,700 classical one day.
Nice.
More than 50% chance.
Could be. Oh, and I beat Sarn. I beat Sarn in a classical game, and I've drawn with you. I'm just going through the list.
Oh, my team is just
And
trash now.
I've lost once to Neiman and Mishra, and that's it. I haven't played the others. Oh, I lost to Faruja and Blitz. That was tough. Okay.
Great show, guys.
Good draft. All right, we'll cut it there. Thanks everyone. We'll check back in a year.